Women make up nearly half of the population, yet their presence in parliament remains marginal. Election after election, cultural barriers, financial constraint, party politics and political violence have combined to keep women on the fringes of legislative power. In response, lawmakers have once again introduced the Reserved Seat Bill, a proposal aimed at guaranteeing a minimum number of seats for women in the National Assembly. Supporters argue that the bill is a necessary corrective, a temporary but crucial step to address historical exclusion and strengthen inclusive governance. Critics, however, question its fairness and whether it truly empowers women or merely creates symbolic representation. As the bill makes its way through the National Assembly, the debate has shifted beyond legislation to a deeper conversation about political will, party commitment, and the future of women's leadership in Nigeria's democracy. Today on Gender and Parliament, we ask the hard question: is the Reserved Seat Bill a turning point or another missed opportunity? Are political parties truly committed to women's inclusion, or only when it is convenient? And what does meaningful representation truly looks like? To help us unpack these issues, I am joined by the National Woman Leader of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Mary Alele, a key voice in the push for greater women's participation in governance. This is Gender and Parliament. I am Ladibala. Let's get to meet our guests after this timeout. Stay tuned.
Dr. Mary Alele is a national woman leader of the All Progressive Congress, APC, a scholar, pastor, philanthropist, entrepreneur, and politician. Dr. Alele holds a PhD in philosophy from Louisiana Baptist University, USA, and a background in international migration and ethnic relations from Malmö University, Sweden. Dr. Alele is an erudite scholar with a passion for empowering women. She is the founder of Sister to Sister Worldwide, a non-governmental organization with a presence in 9 countries, and Living Glory Social Care Limited, an organization employing over 300 workers in the UK. A recipient of numerous awards, including Best Female Politician of the Year 2023, Dr. Alele is a champion of social justice, equality, and women participation in politics. Her visionary leadership has transformed lives and shaped the future.
So, Mary Alele, thanks for joining us on Gender and Parliament.
Thank you very much.
Now, to begin with, can you briefly explain what the Reserved Seat Bill seeks to achieve and why it matters at moments like this?
Thank you for having me. The Reserved Seat Bill for women, it seeks to achieve a special seat that is reserved for Nigerian women. We're looking at 36 seats in the Senate. We're looking at 36 seats in the House of Representatives. And we are looking at 3 seats each across Nigeria, across the House of Assembly. Now, the reason for this is to see how we can at least increase the numbers of women in these houses. Last year, 2025, Nigeria celebrated so many years of being in existence. And in the process of jubilating and in the process of we're congratulating ourselves that we've been able to come this far, but there is still a percentage of population in Nigeria that cannot quite celebrate. And the reason is because in Nigeria, if we look at our statistics, as my gender, we have 49.5 up to 50% of women in Nigeria. And that figure is not reflecting in these houses. That figure is not reflecting across our House of Assemblies. And then we are at a state in the year 2026. As far as I'm concerned, Nigeria should be deliberating on so many other things and not equality for women. That is where we are at the moment. I don't know what has happened in the past, But now we are in the present and we want to go into the future. We as Nigeria is a blessed country. Our women are educated. Our women are powerful women, intelligent women. So I don't see any reason whatsoever why they cannot be, or why we cannot be part of governance, why women cannot be part of governance. Now, if we say Nigeria, anywhere you go across the world, you say you are from Nigeria, people applaud you and say, wow, you guys are the giant of Africa. And we're so proud of our passport, the green, white, green. We're proud of our passport, we're proud of our flag, we're proud to be Nigerian. But when we look at what we as Nigeria, we bring it home now, what we are experiencing as women of this country, I want to say that 7% is where we currently are. Below 7% is where we are in women in governance. Now, if we look at our sister country, Rwanda, topping the world at 67%, Senegal, Tanzania, South Africa. So why is Nigeria, the giant of Africa, why are we lingering in 7%? This is something that we need to change. I don't think it's something that we need to deliberate on for too long, because every other, the world has moved on. I released an article just some few days ago, and I'll say, and in that article, I was writing about the fact that every other country is moving and Nigeria were in reserve. Why are we in reserve? Why are we waiting to pass this bill? Why is it so difficult for us in 2026 to pass a bill? We as women of Nigeria, we are not shouting equal right. We are not saying get up from your seat. We are not saying whatever people think we're saying. We are just saying that we are up to 50% of population in this country, and we deserve a seat at the table. And again, of course, we all know a nation that neglects 50% of its population cannot move forward. And we want to move forward as a country. We want to matter in the things of affairs of the world. We want to say that we want to be part of those countries that says, yes, we respect our women. Yes, we value our women. Yes, we want them at the table. Because frankly, as it is now, at 70%, that is disgraceful and that's unacceptable.
Now, what is the current status of the reserve seat bill at the National Assembly? Are there hurdles? What are they?
I mean, we've got some great news that it has passed the second reading at least. So now we are waiting for the committee to meet. We are waiting for it to be passed on for presidential assent. And that is where we are at the moment. Before the new year, they were supposed to vote on this bill. Till we heard that it was postponed until further notice. And okay, and we're thinking maybe it's because of the holidays and then everybody is not on seat, people have traveled, etc., etc. But now I'm sure everybody is back. And we're hearing that on the 27th is when plenary will resume. And before that 27th, we're doing everything we can to ensure that this bill cannot be chucked under the carpet or under the rug like every other bill. This is a bill that is not only important to my generation, but it's important to the next generation and the next generation. Just this morning, there was a TikTok of young girls across the world, Nigerians. They are speaking about this bill, and they are asking our fathers, they are asking their fathers that are seated in both houses that what are you doing about it? Are you saying that I don't matter because I'm a girl? Is that what you're telling us? Is that what you're saying? Because they must be very, very clear that the next generation, they are sitting, they are watching, and they are listening. And they need to do the needful. And that is just one thing, really, pass the bill.
Okay, do you believe that there is a political will across party lines, to ensure that this bill sees the light of the day?
I want to, for the first time. No, it's not symbolic at all. For the first time, I want to applaud all parties across board, because I championed, I think this was in November, when I championed a press brief that was sponsored by Plaque and in Abuja here. And we saw the national women leaders, my colleagues across other parties, they were seated. We sat shoulders to shoulders. We were there in that press briefing, saying the same thing. This is not about party now. It's about women in general. So we saw all my political national women leaders across other political parties. We sat, my sisters, we sat together. PDP was there, ADC was there, and the Boots Party was there, name the party, they were all there. And we were not speaking about it wasn't about party for us now. It was about the Nigerian woman. It was about passing the bill. I think before now, we've not seen such thing. I think before now, everybody's chanting in their own small corners, but now women are united, Nigerian women are united, and we must also add, I think it was in November or December, I can't remember, the First Lady of this country, Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, invited her former colleagues, our former senators, and and invited them to a dinner, and they talked about this bill, and she gave a powerful speech about why this bill needs to be passed. So again, it's not about party, it's not about who is sitting, it's about the voice of Nigerian women. And if she, as our mother, the mother of the nation, has lent a voice to this bill. And I must also tell you that in the last meeting, the caucus meeting that was held in the Villa, the APC caucus meeting, which I'm a member, I sat there, I wasn't told. I heard the president of this country talked about the bill. And he told them, what is going on? Why is this bill not being passed? Pass it already, and end of quote.
Wow. So I was going to ask you about the position of the APC on the reserve seat bill and the issue of women inclusion. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So in the caucus meeting, I mean, if you go and watch the video, I think it's everywhere online. Go watch the video, and the president, when it was time for him to speak in the caucus meeting, he looked at everyone and said, let's increase women in this caucus. Because I think we were just about 3 women sat on that caucus meeting. And he said that openly to the glaring eyes and ears of the media. That was the caucus meeting. In the next meeting again, which was held, I think, 2 days after the caucus meeting, and he spoke to everyone that was there. The legislators, the governors, they were all seated. Open quote, pass the bill already, end of quote. That is how high you can come. If the president have spoken, the first lady have spoken, every person is speaking. What is delaying the bill? I honestly does not think that this is one of the things that will be chucked under the carpet. We have had enough. We are shouting, we are begging, we are pleading, we are lobbying. After all, we are 49 point something in this country. We need to sit down in the table of governance.
I think that this is a cheering news coming from the president, and Nigerians actually hoping and praying that this bill actually sees the light of the day. Judging by past experience, I'm talking about the 5 gender bills.
And that bill actually, because the former First Lady, Aisha Buhari, was equally at the forefront of championing the bills, and many other stakeholders, including members of parliament, they actually showed commitment. But when it was time for voting,
Nigerian women were shocked to see those 5 bills being thrown out, and it happened on the day of the international, celebrating the International Day of Women. So based on all these past experiences, even when you hear some of the political leaders, speaking, there's this fear behind the mind, and we hope they are not just playing to the gallery. At this point, will you say, is it that the party, your party, the APC, has mobilized all the APC legislators at the National Assembly to vote in favor of this, or are they allowed to go by their minds? Because Many of them are undecided because if there is no pressure for them to give their votes, that comes to this. Because at the end of the day, it's the voting. That's the bottom line.
Unfortunately, we
cannot count. How sure? I mean,
unfortunately, we cannot count on the numbers of women in the Senate to be able to win the vote. Yes. So we must appeal to the conscience of the men that are sitting in the House of Assembly and in the House of in the Senate and in the House of Representatives to help us to pass the vote. You know what we are doing differently. Sometimes history, we look at history and we learn from history. This time around, we've taken the bull by the horn, and this time around we have gone across the nation. We are not just stopping in Abuja. We are not just staying in the four corners of Abuja. For example, the office of the National Woman Leader, I have had to appoint 6 coordinators, zonal coordinators, to champion this bill, because again, I can only be in one place at the same time. So we have 6 powerful women that are working across Nigeria to ensure that every woman is aware of this bill. The last bill that was chopped, unfortunately, that bill did not gain momentum because a lot of people they weren't even aware of the bill anyways. So just maybe a few of them were aware, but now even the woman selling tomatoes in the market is talking about the reserve seat bill. What we did last time, I think this was just in November or December, I think, we are liaising with our governors, the APC governors, to help us to speak to their senators, to help us to speak to their House of Representatives. I'll shock you.
Before you shock me, we shall be taking a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back.
Just in December, we are rolling out zonal programs, sensitization programs across the country. That means in Nigeria, we are going to do 6 powerful zonal sensitization programs to sensitize everyone about the bill. Now, we did one that was hosted by His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State in December. And that saw the women leaders, the stakeholders, and everyone speaking in Borno about this bill. Even in that program, the Deputy Governor of Borno State was seated. And the governor, after the program, in my meeting with the governor, he spoke passionately about the fact, the need for this reserve seat bill to be passed. We were begging, we were pleading that speak to your senators, because again, they are your senators. They are people from your state, and they speak to your colleagues. And we saw the first ladies of these zones coming together to speak about the bill. Now, in another 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, we will be going to the other zone, and particularly we will be in Kaduna. And this is also sponsored by the governor of Kaduna State. And he is on board, because I've had meeting with him as well. He is on board about the reserve seat bill and how we should champion. And we agreed on one thing in that meeting, that the other bill did not see the light of day because of the fact that it wasn't, there was no sensitization across Nigeria. People were not even aware that there was such a bill, and we need to do things differently. And again, in this program that we're doing, all the first ladies across the zone will be there, because we need everyone to speak about this bill. It's not just about party, it's a Nigerian woman bill. It's not for my party alone, it's for everybody, regardless of what party you belong to. We want the bill to be passed, probably not for us, but for the next generation, for our girls, to tell them that it's okay, you've gone to school, you are educated enough, you are brilliant enough. For Christ's sake, we have countries where we have women as presidents, even in Africa. And then we are yet to get the first female governor in this country. What are we waiting for?
All right, from all you are saying, it's like synergy among political parties. is very critical, especially for women leaders of these various political parties, for us to have to champion a common front. Now, looking inward, your party leadership structure, will you say the APC, because it's part of the constitution of the APC, the 35% affirmative action. Will you say the APC is adhering to this? Because looking at the party structure, that gap still exists.
Yes, I mean,
so
we cannot,
are we going to see something different? If at the party level, I mean, the gap still exists, and the same political party is now showing interest in the reserve seat bill. I find it very...
No, of course, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. It's a movement. We're moving
Charity
forward.
Starts at home.
No, we're starting, because again, if you look at the structure of the party, let's take the structure of the party, for example. There are a lot of political parties that have just one woman sitting in the NWC. APC, we've got two. So we're moving. And again, the APC, my party, we have said that expression of interest form. It's been reduced for women. If you are a woman, you pay your expression of interest form, but the nomination form is completely free. And these are huge figures that women are being given this form for free in order for you to be able to contest. And again, just last year, under the leadership of the national chairman, Professor Natawa Yewalda, there was a review of the constitution of APC, which was championed by the national legal advisor of our party. That saw us going from zone to zone to see how we can be better with the APC's constitution. And of course, my office, I submitted several memorandums to see how we can increase the participation of women in the state level, in the ward level, in the unit level. We still see state ESCOs that have just 2 women across among 27. It's still there in a lot of states. And by this bill and the review of the APC constitution, we want to see changes. I am championing changes across board. I mean, sometimes I was just on a more lighter note. I keep telling some people, if you could take the woman leader from and give it to a man, maybe sometimes you would have. But again, we want to see more women.
It's like we have men as commissioner of women affairs in some states.
Again, it's a thing that it's I don't even know the English to use to qualify that now. And women as well, my gender, we must rise to the equation. You can't allow yourself to be shut down at every meeting. In my mentorship programs, mostly for the next young girls, for the up and coming, I tell them, there is no power that is served a la carte. You must stand up. You must take the power. You must represent yourself, and don't allow yourself to say, I'm not enough. So as long as you want it, it's like business, politics. As long as you invest in it, like if you're doing a business, you invest money in it. Of course, you want to ensure that your money does not go down the drain. That's the same thing as politics. If you invest, you're passionate about it, you have invested in it, do not let anybody tell you that you are not enough.
Now, briefly, you just said power is not served. Power is taken, Now, from your experience, what would you say are the barriers that's stopping women from really standing up, and be in the political space actively?
Again, we know the standard barrier, religion barrier, financial barrier, cultural barriers. But above, even though you are looking at these barriers, I would like to quote that. Even you say religion is a barrier. Let's take UAE, for example, United Arab Emirates. That is an Arab country. But do you know what? Can I shock you? 50% of women are in parliament. So is religion now a barrier? Why is it a barrier in Nigeria and it's not a barrier in another country? Again, we have the cultural barrier. The reason for the cultural barrier is the stigmatization. No father wants to send her daughter to a lion's den, and they feel she's the only one there. Nobody will protect her. They will call her all these names, and when you call her all these names, well, she will not get suitor, and so on and so forth. And they go, and then you see the cultural thing that, oh, you see, politics is a dirty game. Well, if it's a dirty game, why are you playing it, sir? Because we too, we can play it, and that is what it is. So regardless of this barrier, and as much as we are working tirelessly to see that this barrier comes at a minimum, but the Nigerian woman must rise above this barrier. And financial barrier is a thing as well that we need to look at. We need to put money in the pocket of our women, because contesting an election, it's not for the faint-hearted at all.
All right, I am not a pessimist. But if the reserve seat bill fails, what message do you think will be sent to women and young girls that are aspiring, to explore the Nigerian political space?
I don't want to think it will fail, but let me just answer your question, because if it does fail in this 2026, in this generation, what we are telling our people is that Nigeria, we don't believe in our women. What we are telling them is that our women, we are not strong enough. What we are saying is that women, we are not capable enough. What we are saying to the world is that the Nigerian women is not sufficient. And I know that the president of this country, under his the Renewed Hope agenda, is saying otherwise. Is saying that we are strong enough, because if not, he will not be making a statement to say that pass the bill already, and then he wants to see the Nigerian woman prosper. The first lady of this country, I work very close with mommy, and she wants to see it. I work very close with Her Excellency, and she talks endlessly about the prosperity, all-round prosperity, for that matter, holistic prosperity of the Nigerian woman. And we have seen some tremendous empowerment coming from her office. This will just be the icing on the cake for the Nigerian woman.
To give me your final thought, final message.
Okay.
Particularly to lawmakers that are undecided on this bill. What is your personal message?
My personal message to them is this. History will remember the 10th Assembly once this is passed. I want them, they are lawmakers. They've seen it all. In 1928, in the United Kingdom, when it was passed, there was the Equal Franchise Act of 1928, which was brought by, I think his name is Sir Johnson. He was the one that brought that bill. And then in 1928, it was the Conservative that were in power. And the Prime Minister, as at then, championed this bill. And 1928, because somebody passed a bill, Equal Franchise Bill of 1928, go look at it. Somebody passed that bill, and it was now passed into law that women could vote in United Kingdom. The 10th Assembly, we are watching, seriously. My children are watching. In fact, my mother is watching. Our sisters are watching. The whole world is watching the 10th Assembly. And I want them to go into history to say that they are the one that passed this bill for women in 2026. I'm talking about 1928. We are in 2026. The world has moved forward. Why is Nigeria stamping on this bill? And we are not saying get up from your seat.
As we bring the conversation to an end in this episode, one thing stands out. This debate is no longer about whether women deserve a place in parliament, but whether the political system is ready to change. The reserve seat bill represents more than legislation. It is a test of commitment by political parties, lawmakers, and the democratic process itself. Dr. Mary, thanks for honoring our invitation and for sharing your thoughts on the reserve seat bill.
Thank you.
And thanks, viewers, for sharing your precious time watching Gender and Parliament. And that's it on Gender and Parliament. Thanks for watching. Good evening.